a different culture background politically, and they're very good at it. So
by the way,
we have to be on our toes.
How many dead people were they using in Virginia? I mean, you know, people were dead and their names were there voting, Harlan.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not out of the world. I mean,
it's a real issue.
Been uncovered.
I actually used to run a voting machine startup that was trying to fix this. Yeah, for a couple of years, venture-backed. And I know what was really alarming is traveling all over the country and seeing how vulnerable our infrastructure was. And Donald Trump is actually the first candidate to raise. He was originally he was ridiculed, but then we saw Barack Obama, we saw the NSA come out and say, yeah, our infrastructure is vulnerable. This is an issue of national security, and we have to take it seriously. But getting back to WikiLeaks, there are so many accusations, and there's so much evidence that's material to Hillary Clinton's character. You know, I mean, she talked about open trade, open borders, pay to play, fracking abroad but not at home. She coordinated with PACs that were in support of her. That's illegal. It's against the law. You know, she said that she had a public and a private position because the people can't handle the truth. They destroyed evidence. I mean, there is so much here. She's such a target-rich candidate, and for the media to ignore it is just journalistic malpractice.
Yep.
And I don't see how they can recover from this in the long term.
Yep. And as part of those WikiLeaks, Congressman, they show one of the emails showed top Clinton aides were upset that a Muslim man was named as the shooter in last year's San Bernardino massacre. A Clinton consultant sends a story on the shooting reported by MSNBC, Christopher Hayes, to Podesta, and he responds, quote, well, better if a guy named Saeed Farouk was reporting that a guy named Christopher Hayes was the shooter.
And it just screams volumes of how uncomfortable they are with the war. You know, our radical jihadists, they'll never say those words, radical Islam. That's why they're so ineffective when it comes to the war on terrorism. And also in the WikiLeaks, it does show that Hillary Clinton says that terrorism is not a threat to the United States.
Right.
Where are these people coming from? And, you know, Harlan just enumerated a whole list of things. There's even more than that. The treatment of Catholics, the NAACP, the needy Latino against Bill Richardson, open borders, universal health care, two different stands on trade policy, on tax policies. The list absolutely goes on and on, and you're right, it is journalistic malpractice and total hypocrisy. But I will be quick to say this. Even if it was any of the other 16 candidates, I think the media would still be doing this. They will rise to the threat. Donald Trump is a threat to the establishment. He's a threat to them, and they're using all their guns that they need to get him out of this race. But they would have done the same to any other of the 16 candidates. And I always hear, well, if John Kasich was your nominee, he'd be up 10 points by now. Absolutely not true. We see this over and over again with the media. They did it to Romney. They did it to McCain. And they're relentless.
By the way, just went through all the front pages of the New York Times, the Washington Post. Not a word about WikiLeaks on any of the top stories, the front pages there.